So, guys, it's Alex here, and welcome to the January 21st edition of the Bracketology update. We had a crazy upset last night. We had Indiana upsetting number 4 Purdue at home. Man, that was, I just love college basketball this year. There is truly no top team this year. Auburn's probably the best team in college basketball right now, 16-1. I do want to say at the very beginning of this video, last Bracketology I said that Auburn didn't have any NBA talent. I did not realize that, I think his name is Jabari Smith Jr. He's like a projected top 5 pick, and then I saw a headline today that some teams, like if they get the number 1 pick and all that, and they need like a kind of forward type, they may draft him number 1, so I just completely whiffed on Tuesday. So I will be taking that into consideration. And then on, I think it's tomorrow, Auburn plays host to Kentucky, number 2 right now, which is number 1 overall seed in the Bracketology, versus Kentucky. Man, that place is on fire. I've been seeing some things on Twitter to where like standing room only seats, it's at Auburn, standing room only seats are $300 on like Vivid Seats, the ticket marketplace. So that atmosphere, I'm sure, is going to be insane, and I will be watching that game, not live or not there, obviously. But as a Kentucky fan, I really want to beat Auburn. If not, Auburn is just going to be even elevate to that next year. They'll definitely be number 1 in the AP poll on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it comes out. But anyway, that's enough kind of blurbing and blabbing, all that stuff. Let's take a look here at the bracket watch. Top overall seed is Auburn. They're number 2 in the AP poll, but I agree with Joe Lunardi. They have the best resume in college basketball right now. They deserve the top overall seed. First team out is Texas A&M. They are now, I want to say, 15-3. They've been stacking up wins recently. They played Kentucky to a very good game on, I think it was Wednesday. Kentucky was able to come on top at the end, but Texas A&M was impressive. They are currently the first team out. They just need to get a couple more good wins. And then the last team in is TCU. And as you can see from that note, if you are reading it, 8 out of 9 eligible Big 12 teams are currently in the tournament, which is absolutely crazy. Oklahoma State isn't eligible. And then I can't remember off the top of my head who the other Big 12 team that's nowhere near the title picture is. I don't even know. But scrolling on down, on the bubble, last 4 byes are Creighton, Wake Forest, San Francisco, St. Mary's. Last 4 in are Florida, Oregon, Florida State, who got a huge upset win over Duke. That happened since the last Bracketology. That was huge for Florida State, bringing them up to the tournament picture. And then we have first 4 out are Texas A&M, Arkansas, who's making their way back towards the bracket, Mississippi State, and Virginia Tech. And then the next 4 out are Wyoming, UAB, UCF, and Michigan, who is making their return back to the bracket as well, starting to stack up wins. I think they're 8-7 on the year, but they just need to keep on going. So taking a look here at the bracket, some pretty big changes. We have North Carolina down to a 9. They just got destroyed this past week. Then we have Villanova down to a 4 after losing at home to Marquette, which was a great win for Marquette. San Francisco down to an 11. Then we have Texas Tech up to a 3. West Virginia down to a 10. Wisconsin up to a 2. Wisconsin has a huge game tonight against Michigan State. And I guess you can say Michigan State also has a huge game against Wisconsin. That game is going to be huge for like the 2 and 3 seed lines, that sort of thing. Maybe even Michigan State. I think they're like a 5 right now, as we'll see in a second. But then we have Indiana over there in the West Regional up to an 8 after that huge win over Purdue. Then we have San Diego State, Florida State new to the field, and TCU down to a 12. Xavier up to a 4. UConn up to a 6. St. Mary's down to 11. UCLA down to a 3. Then Creighton up to a 10. Then if we take a look here, we have in the South Regional, Michigan State down to a 5, Florida and Oregon both up to the 11 line as the playing game. Houston up to a 3, Texas down to a 7, Wake Forest up to a 10. Then over there in the East Regional, Miami up to an 8, Colorado State down to a 9, Pittsburgh, or not Pittsburgh, I was looking at the site, Alabama up to a 5, Illinois down to a 4 after missing out. They had a great game against Purdue. I think it was on Monday, and I think I mentioned it in the last Bracketology, but they are now down to a 4 after just missing out on a huge win. Ohio State down to a 6, then Marquette up to a 7, and Oklahoma down to a 10. I have officially purchased tickets for the, and I'll probably say this in the next couple of videos too, I have all session tickets to Indianapolis, all first-round games, all second-round games. So at this moment, I would get to see my Kentucky Wildcats and then Ohio State versus Murray State, which would be a great game. And then over there in the South Regional, we have Texas versus Wake Forest, and then Purdue versus Cal State Fullerton. So as I do with every bracketology, I create it on vertex42.com, update it for all the different teams here, and then give my predictions for the NCAA tournament based off of this bracketology. Absolutely love doing it, and you guys have been giving me some great support. Each video is starting to do a little bit better than the last one, which I really appreciate. And then once it gets to be like late February, early March, that's when these videos usually take off and get some more attention. And I'll be doing an NCAA tournament ticket giveaway too here pretty soon, so keep your eyes out for that. That'll probably be coming around mid-February. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road with my predictions. So obviously Auburn's going to beat the winner of Southern and UNC Wilmington. Then we're going to have Loyola Chicago beating North Carolina in the first year post Porter Moser. Then we're going to have Iowa State here advancing on past Iona. Then we are also going to have Villanova advancing on past Louisiana Tech. Don't see any upsets out of those two matchups there. But we do see an upset here with San Francisco over USC. I just do not believe in USC this year. They struggled just against Colorado last night, and they don't have any quality wins right now. I got San Francisco pulling off the upset there. Texas Tech beating Princeton, Seton Hall over West Virginia, and then we also have Wisconsin over Seattle. Then for our spot in the Sweet 16, we got Auburn over Loyola Chicago, Iowa State pulling off the 5-4 upset over Villanova, Texas Tech beating San Francisco, and then we will have Wisconsin beating Seton Hall. So some kind of chalk there, but we have a 5 seed advancing on. Then Auburn will advance past Iowa State to the Elite 8, rhyming accidentally. And then we're going to have Texas Tech advancing on past Wisconsin. Texas Tech is another team I love. I think they could potentially make the Final Four, but as of this moment, not past Auburn. I got Auburn advancing to the Final Four, the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. They will advance to the Final Four. So then we'll scroll over here to the top right regional. Gonzaga will obviously beat the winner of the 16 seed playing game. Indiana, I think, can beat San Diego State. Tennessee, I think, will beat the winner of Florida State, which I spelled Florida wrong there, against TCU, which would be Florida State, I think, but Tennessee's going to beat them anyway. Then I'm going to go with an upset pick here. I'm going to go with 13 seed Vermont over 4 seed Xavier. Usually every year we see at least one, either 14 over 3 or 13 over 4, and I think Vermont could pull that off. Connecticut, I think, will beat St. Mary's. Then we're going to have UCLA over South Dakota State. Then also we're going to have Iowa beating Creighton along with Kansas over Weber State. Then for our spot in the Sweet 16, Gonzaga is going to beat Indiana. Then we're going to have Tennessee beating Vermont. I'd love to see Vermont pull off the upset there, but that's not going to happen. UCLA will beat Connecticut, and then Kansas will beat Iowa. Then for a spot in the Elite 8, we have Gonzaga advancing on past Tennessee. Then we are going to have UCLA pulling off the upset there over Kansas. And I am actually going to have UCLA advancing on to the Final Four as a 3 seed. I just believe a lot in UCLA this year. Maybe that belief is misplaced. I don't know. And that would be a rematch of last year's crazy Final Four game. Maybe game of the year. Probably game of the year. Probably the best tournament game since in like 20 years. That game was absolutely crazy. But I just believe in UCLA this year. I think they advanced to the Final Four out of that region. So scrolling down to the bottom right, Baylor's going to beat Winthrop, obviously. Then we're going to have Davidson pulling off the 9-8 upset over BYU. Michigan State can beat Boise State, though Boise State, a team to watch out for. They've won like 10 or 11 in a row. They're starting to make their way into the tournament there. Keep your eye on Boise State. Then we're going to have LSU advancing on past Oakland. Providence will lose to the winner of the playing game of Florida and Oregon, which I think would probably be Oregon. Then Houston will beat Liberty. Then we're going to have Texas beating Wake Forest there in a 7-10, along with Purdue over Cal State Fullerton. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Baylor advancing on past Davidson. Michigan State, I think, can pull out the 5-4 over LSU. Then we are going to have Oregon pulling off another upset here, going from the playing game all the way to the Sweet 16 over Houston. And then Purdue, I think, will be able to beat Texas. Then for a spot here in the Elite 8, Baylor versus Michigan State. I got Baylor moving on, along with Purdue over Oregon. And then Baylor versus Purdue. This was like a national championship game earlier this year. Just depends on how bracketing principles work, of course. But Baylor, I think, will advance to the Final Four in that matchup there. They've lost 2 in a row. Let's see if they can right the ship. Or actually, I don't remember if they lost 2 in a row. Maybe they got a win this past week or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I do think that they will advance to the Final Four out of that regional. That's honestly kind of a weak regional, if I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie there. Then so this final one, bottom left here, we got Arizona advancing on past Troy. And we're going to have Colorado State 9-8 over Miami. Chattanooga, I think, can pull off the upset 12-5. I will say Alabama did beat LSU last night. Good quality home win. But late game, LSU was making a comeback. Alabama wasn't making their free throws. I think Chattanooga can pull off the upset there. Alabama needs to get their late game situations better. Then we're going to have Illinois over Ohio. Murray State falling to Ohio State. I think that's going to be a fantastic game. I really hope I would get to see that. Probably won't happen. I mean, we got 2 months until the tournament, but I'd love to see that. Kentucky will beat Wagner. Then we're going to have Marquette over Oklahoma, and then Duke over Colgate. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Arizona advancing on past Colorado State, Illinois moving on past Chattanooga, Kentucky advancing past Ohio State. Then we're going to go with an upset pick here. I'm going to go with Marquette over Duke. As you guys know from watching my videos this whole season so far, I have been high on Marquette. They just went on the road and beat Villanova. Duke just went on the road and lost to Florida State. I think Marquette, with Shaka Smart, I think he's best at a mid-major school like VCU. And I guess Marquette's not really mid-major. They're in the Big East, but you know what I'm saying there. They're not like a premier team. I think Marquette can pull off the 7-2 upset in Coach K's last year, even though I did just have Duke win the national championship, I think, in my Tuesday bracketology. But anyway, Arizona will move on past Illinois here. I think that's a rematch of like the 2005 national title game, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I feel like I remember those two teams playing in a pretty big game. Then we're going to have Kentucky advancing on past Marquette, which sets up Arizona versus Kentucky, a rematch of like the 1997, I want to say, championship game. 97-98, something like that. But I have Kentucky advancing on with the way that they play, which sets up Auburn versus Kentucky here in the Final Four. As much as I want to pick Kentucky to win, if they go on the road and beat Auburn tomorrow, then I'm definitely going to be picking Kentucky to move on. But right now, you got to go with the team that is on absolute fire right now. You got to go with Auburn, as much as it pains me to say it. I can't wait for the game tomorrow. I've talked about it probably for like 2 or 3 minutes total in this video. And they will face the winner of UCLA and Baylor, which I think right now, I'm going to go with the battle-tested team, the reigning champs of Baylor. So that sets up Auburn versus Baylor here, battle the number 1 seeds. And I am going to go with Auburn winning the national title game. I did it. That's right. I did it, the bowling thing. Who do you think you are? I am. I put Auburn in the... I can't even say it. I have Auburn winning the national championship. So congratulations to all you Tiger fans. I saw the thing that March Madness, their Instagram posted, to where like every time there's an Auburn game, all the Auburn fans go on Twitter to the opposing team whenever they beat them and just comment on their Twitter post. There's always like thousands of comments, which I think is hilarious. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of my bracketology predictions in the comment section below. Let me know your own predictions in the comment section as well. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all later.